Hey everyone, welcome to the Supple Body. This class is going to get you nice and warm, feeling really open and overall great in your body. So I'll meet you right back here on your mat and we'll get started in child's pose. Coming on down to your mats, meet in child's pose. You can take your knees apart or your knees together, whichever you feel more comfortable in your body. And go ahead and relax your forehead to the mat. With your arms, I'll let it be yogi's choice. You can have them extended out in front of you or relax down by your hips. And just do your best to take a little scan from your toes all the way up and out your crown. Just trying to feel your body physically, any tightness, stiffness. And let's do that same scan. What's going on internally? What's coming up for you when you're on your mat? Previous classes, things outside of your mat. And how can we start to learn a little more about ourselves through the practice and through looking inward? As you start to let all of the externals fade, all of the previous conversations or activities of your day, let's just keep honing in on our breath. And starting to take it deeper and deeper with every inhale. A little more length with every exhale. Where the breath goes, the mind will follow. So as we start flowing, keep your breath nice and smooth, nice and steady. If you're working your Ujjayi breath, you can start cultivating that little whisper, the ocean breath in the back of your throat as you activate the glottis. And last inhale here in child's pose. And with your exhale, ease all the way up onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes, and let's move straight into downward facing dog. I'm taking a moment here just to feel into down dog. As you start pressing into your hands, ease your hips up and back, finding a little extra stretch in the hamstrings, maybe low back and shoulders. Move into what you feel. I'm always moving in my poses, kind of searching for the stiffness, searching maybe for soreness or tightness. And when I find that spot, I want to pause and spend a little more time moving into the space. So I encourage you to do that. It's kind of constantly taking that scan that we found in child's pose. Always trying to learn a little bit more about ourselves and the way we move. Take an inhale, gazing forward, walk your hands or maybe one big step to the top of your mat. We'll hang free in Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's bring your feet hip distance apart. Relax the back of your neck. You can hold opposite elbows or completely hang free. And nice and easy, it's to sway your hips from the left to the right. Finding any pause. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, heart forward. And as you exhale, bend your left knee, take your left hand under your left shoulder, and sweep your right arm up. As you're twisting, if you want a little more across the chest, take the half bind, reach your right arm behind your back. Look for your left hip crease. Think of this as a self-assist. So I'm doing this to really help open my right shoulder and revolve my chest up. If you're wanting more in the legs, deepen the bend in your left knee. And think of really working your right hip back to the back of your mat. Release your bind if you have it and fold back down through center. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, switch. Bend into your right knee. As you twist, left arm up. And then maybe we'll find the half bind here on the second side. Left arm behind your back. One more full breath in. With your exhale, release. Let's widen our stance just slightly, pivoting your toes out, your heels in. Sink your hips all the way down, and we'll come into Malasana. Bringing your hands to your heart. Let's try to sit up as tall as we can through the spine. You can even use your elbows to assist your knees and hips open a little bit more. And with an inhale, trying to keep the height of your chest, reach your left arm in front of your left shin. We'll take the twist, reach your right arm up. Exhale, come back to center, switching it out. Right arm in front of your right shin, left arm sweeps up. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, back to center. One more breath. Try to find a little more length up and out your crown. And with an exhale, straighten your legs, pivot your toes forward, and fold in. Let's slowly roll all the way up through your spine, letting the crown of your head come up last. Finding Tadasana. And take a moment to really ground down into your feet evenly and equally, not leaning further into your toes or further back into your heels. And do the same thing with your hips. Hips above the heels, shoulders above your hips. Inhale, reach your arms up, gaze up. With an exhale, lower your left hand down to your left thigh. Keep grounding down into your right heel. Take an easy side bend over to the left. And as you are bending to the left, I want you to pay a little more attention to your center. Are you starting to create a back bend? Are you allowing your tailbone to lift? Are you puffing your ribs out? Let's try to keep our core intact. Trying to keep, to the best of our ability, the same idea of Tadasana. And with an exhale, come back up through center. Inhale, stretch your fingers tall. Exhale, switching it out, lower your right hand down. Ground into your left heel as you reach over towards the right side. Inhale, lengthen upwards, gaze up. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, pivot your toes out. One more time in Malasana. Sitting up tall with a deep breath in. Stretch your left arm in front of your left shin, right arm up. We'll exhale, and this time maybe adding in the twist or a bind. Bring your right arm behind your back. Look for your left thigh. And I know it's early, but if you have it, maybe we can reach the left arm in front of the left shin and clasp hands behind your back. And release, come back to center, reset, inhale. And we'll switch it out. Right arm in front of your right shin, left arm up, deep breath in. Full or half bind, exhale, deepen your twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, fold. Pivot your toes forward, straighten your legs, and relax. Halfway up with your breath, come back to that connection. Plank pose. Let's plant your hands and step your feet back. Now take a moment here in plank. Let's set up your base. So starting with your feet this time, I want you to come maybe a little higher onto the balls of your feet than you normally do, and really think of pressing your heels to the back of the room so much that you're firming deeply into your quads and you're drawing your kneecaps upward. And moving up to your frontal hip points, find that little tilt so they're moving up towards your bottom ribs, navel to your spine. Good. Lift up between your shoulder blades. Ground firm into your fingertips. We're really actively pressing the mat away. And notice, are you allowing your palms to lift? Sometimes we have these hands and they turn into little suction cups where the row of knuckles are high up off the mat. Try to keep that grounding down. So we're pressing evenly from fingertip, knuckle to the heel of your hand. We'll take our last breath in. And then nice and slow, bring your right knee to your nose. Step between your hands and lower your left knee down. Half splits. Send your hips above your back left knee. Inhale, lengthen through the side body. And with an exhale, fold. Inhale, rebend into your right knee. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee up off the mat. We'll step back, plank pose. And taking that same scan, can you feel all of your muscles working? Can you feel your legs? Can you feel your low belly, your back, shoulders? Really like to try to bring this as much into my arms as I can so that I'm not sitting in my wrists, but I'm really squeezing my forearms together, spiraling my biceps forward, hugging my triceps back. Let's go. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your left knee to your nose. Step between your hands and lower your right knee down. Half split. Send your hips back above your right knee. Flexing through your left toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, find your depth. Last breath in. Ease back up to your hands. One more time in plank. Bend into your left knee. Plant your hands. Ground into your palms and step back with control. Holding this static pose, start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Sometimes when we start entering into a challenging pose, whether that's a strength pose that's bringing challenge or a flexibility pose that's bringing challenge, our mind acts up. And coming back to the beginning idea, where your breath goes, your mind follows. If your breath is calm and smooth and steady, your mind's going to do the same thing. Let's start evening that back out. With an inhale, shift forward. Exhale, we'll lower with control, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Open your chest, lift your gaze. Ease your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. This time, finding a little stillness in down dog. Hide your heels behind your calves. Press them out away and really press your hips up and back. Come high on your toes, lift your heels, bend your knees. And with an exhale, we'll float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. With your exhale, step your left foot back on a 45, maybe 3 feet in stance. Parshvottanasana, pyramid pose. Draw your right hip back, square your left hip forward. Inhale onto your fingertips. With your exhale, fold. As you are lengthening the back of your neck, lengthening your low back, I want you to stay really active here in your legs. Keep working the right hip up and back, squaring your left hip forward and down. And as you fold in, hollow out the low belly. So we're finding more length from your low back than anything else. Inhale up onto your fingertips. Let's keep the support from the left side body, and we'll twist right arm to the ceiling. Notice your hips. You can even physically take your hand to your sacrum. Are you allowing your right hip to shift forward? Can you keep drawing it back as you pull your left hip forward? Last inhale. With your exhale, step your left foot forward to meet your right. Fold in. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen. Exhale, fold back. Inhale, stand tall, sweep up, gaze up. Hands to your heart, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, reach and fold. With the breath, halfway up, inhale. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Maybe we're practicing our handstands or floating back. Upward facing dog with your breath. With an exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, inhale. Exhale, float. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back. Come up onto your fingertips, same pose, Parshvottanasana. Left hip draws back, bring your right hip forward. With an exhale, hollow out your low belly, navel to spine, really using your core to pull you in deeper. And we'll fold in, Parshvottanasana. Inhale, find height in your chest on your fingertips. Exhale, twist. Left arm to the ceiling. Lift your gaze. Full breath in. Exhale, lower your left hand, step your right foot forward. Halfway up, inhale. Fold back down, exhale. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, stand tall, sweep up. Hands to heart center, exhale. Inhale, arms up, gaze up. Exhale, reach and fold. Halfway up with your breath. Again, on your own, stepping back to plank, floating back to chaturanga. We'll finish out your vinyasa with your breath and meet back in down dog. And start to create a little flow as we move through our A series. So moving with your breath. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees. Exhale, float. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Stand up, sweep up. Hands to your heart, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Step or float back, exhale. Slow and steady, we'll lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift the heels, bend your knees. How quietly and gracefully can you float? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Sweep up, lift your gaze. Hands to your heart. Find a little core contraction. Inhale. Stretch your hamstrings as you fold, exhale. Lengthen Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Do your practice, stepping back, floating back. Let's take 5 breaths, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees. Exhale, float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Urdhva Hastasana, arms up, gaze up. Hands to your heart, easy tuck of your chin. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float. Find your back bend. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. You come back to down dog. Take a nice deep breath in. Sweep your right leg up. Bend your knee. Open your hip. With an exhale, let's cross under. Right knee, left tricep. Trying to stay above your elbow. Let's bring it over to your right tricep. Back to the left. Over to the right. One more time. Back to the left. Over to the right. And all the way up and back. Bend your knee. Open your hip. Knee to your nose. Step between your hands and pause. Coming onto your fingertips. I want you to find the same hips we did while we were in pyramid pose or half split. So draw the right hip back. And as you pull your left hip forward, I want you to firm into your left quad and really energize your heel up to the ceiling. Getting lighter in your fingertips. When you're ready, inhale to rise, crescent lunge. Finding that neutral pelvic bowl. Interlace your hands behind your low back. Inhale, open your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep drawing back through your right hip as you begin to lower your chest. Humble crescent coming onto the inside of your right thigh. There's a tendency here to begin to open your hips to find depth. So more than depth, I want you to think of length. Trying our best to stay square through your hips. Keep lengthening from your back left heel all the way up your side body and out your crown. Last 3, 2, 1. Left hand to the mat and twist. Right arm to the ceiling. Let's begin to find a little extra lift up through the left quad. A little more activation in the back left foot. And maybe we can even draw ourselves up onto just the left fingertips. Last breath in. Bring your gaze down, but try to keep the openness across your chest. And we'll stand on the right leg. Revolved half moon. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Drive out through your back left heel. The balance is there. Can you bring your gaze up to your top hand? Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Standing split. If the balance is strong, try bringing one hand or maybe both to the back of your calf or ankle. Last 3, 2, and 1. Work with your balance here. Inhale onto your fingertips. And as you exhale, slowly lower warrior 2. Inhale to cartwheel all the way up. Take a moment and adjust your stance. Your back foot's horizontal with the mat. Come down nice and deep into your front knee. Make sure you can still see your right big toe. Relaxing your shoulders, I want you to imagine that your back is at a wall. So without putting any back bend in, trying to find the longest spine you can up and out your crown. Inhale, spin your right palm, sweep all the way up and back, reverse warrior. With your exhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen forward through the left side body. Right forearm to your thigh, left arm reaches up and overhead, bring your gaze up. Inhale, again, reverse warrior 2. Exhale, find the same length forward. And maybe we can take our fingertips to the inside of our right foot. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Bring your gaze up and under. Last time, inhale, reach all the way up and back, reverse warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Big lift up, standing split. The second time we're here, maybe we're finding a little more depth. Maybe we're using this time to play with handstand. So do your practice. We'll be here for 10 breaths. Whether that's working your balance or maybe working a little lift or a kick up. Nice and slow, come onto your fingertips. I want you to bend your left knee, bring your heel in towards your glute. Ease out of the fingertips. We're going to keep them here for balance. We're going to work with our curtsy squats. So as you bend your right knee, cross your left knee behind your right, keeping your left heel at your glute, sink your hips down. With an inhale, straighten both legs like a warrior 3. Exhale, curtsy, left knee behind the right, heel to your glute. Inhale, extend it back. Let's go for 3. Really try to keep your heel pulling in, drawing your hips down as low as you can. 2. And last one. I'm going to try to hold it low. Come lower and lower and lower until we can come all the way down and have a seat. Inhale, reach your right arm behind your back for support. Sweeping your left arm up, lengthen up through the crown. With an exhale, twist. Feel yourself sitting evenly and equally in your hips. And with every inhale, I want you to lengthen all the way up from the low back. Every exhale, twist through your core. Last breath in. And come back to center. Reach your right leg up. Heron pose. And just like we do in our half split or forward fold, I really want you to think of using a lot of core strength to pull the leg closer into your body. Even your psoas here, so it's not so much in the hands, but it's a lot of internal engagement. Reaching your arms forward, can you lean back slightly through your chest, engage your low belly, and mirror your left leg with the right. With an inhale, I want you to lower and hover, Ardha Navasana, low boat. Connect your low back to the mat, keeping your shoulders and your heels hovering. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly pull it back up. Bend your knees, plant your feet. We'll come back to forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, halfway up. With your exhale, take your vinyasa, plant your hands, step or float it back. Inhaling for upward facing dog. Exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Next breath in, sweep your left leg up. Bend your knee, open your hip. And with your exhale, cross under. Left knee to your right tricep. Now doing your best to keep it really high. Lifting your knee above your elbow, cross over to the left. Back to the right. Over to your left. One more time to the right. Good. Back to the left. And we'll step between your hands. Come onto your fingertips. So really activate into your legs. Draw your left hip back. Push through the right heel forward, and maybe just the fingertips. When you're ready, crescent lunge. Interlace your hands behind your low back. Open through the chest with an inhale. Thinking just about length, not so much about depth. We'll begin to lower and try to keep our hips square as much as we can. So keep drawing your left hip back. Keep driving your right hip forward. Just trying to create space in our body. So really in every yoga pose, we're trying to find length and space. Last 5. 4. Keep engaging your back right quad. 3. 2. I want you to keep low through the shoulders. Keep your hips the same height. We'll release the arms, right hand to the mat. Twist, left arm to the ceiling. And notice if you're pouring weight down into your right hand. We start to get a little fatigued in the legs, it's natural to do that. So use your side body and your core to maybe come up onto your fingertips. Taking your gaze down, easy lift up, revolved half moon. Drive out through your extended back right leg. Open wide from middle finger to middle finger, really twisting here. 5 breaths. Nice and easy. Let's come into our standing split. If you took it on the first side, maybe one hand to your ankle. Challenging your balance a little bit more. So much of standing split obviously is hamstring openness, but it's a lot of engagement. So I'm really actively pulling my leg up with my hamstring and my glute. I'm not just relying on flexibility, I'm using strength to cultivate more flexibility. Go last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow and control. Let's lower down into warrior 2. Cartwheeling up and open. Soften where you can soften. Maybe easing out of the fingertips. Noticing where unnecessary excess energy is traveling to. Spin your left palm, inhale, up and back, reverse. Exhale, look for length first. Lean forward. We'll take forearm to thigh, right arm up and overhead. Inhale, reverse warrior 2. Exhale, same idea, lengthen forward. We'll take the option of hand to the inside or a block. Right arm up and overhead. One more time. Stay low in the hips. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Big lift up. Last look at our standing split. 10 breaths here. Maybe again working your balance or playing with a little lift from standing split up into handstand. When I was first learning to press, this is how I did it. I actually did it from my standing split. And I think what really helped me was the openness in my hamstrings. When I can lift my top leg, it makes it easier to lift my hips up above my shoulders. So that's kind of an example of how flexibility can really start helping you with strength. Now coming back to your standing split, come onto your fingertips. To bend your right knee, heel to your glute. Start to find the balance here and support in your left leg. And we'll take our curtsies. Lowering your hips, heel to the glute, right knee behind the left. Inhale, warrior 3. Exhale. Inhale. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Last 2, doing good. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. I'm going to try to take this one a little lower, so we can keep our twisted legs and have a seat. Bringing your left hand behind you for support. Inhale, lengthen all the way up through the right side body. And with an exhale, we'll twist. Inhale, find a little more height. Staying in your twist, exhale, deepen. Notice if you're allowing your back to round or your shoulders to slope. Try to keep the height up and out of the crown. One more breath. And slowly, we'll come back to center. Moving into heron pose. Lift the chest and lengthen from the low back. I'm going to cup my hands around my calf and really start to again use my core and that internal engagement to draw my leg closer into my body. Sometimes reaching up for the outer arches of my feet help me find a little more height. Now leaning back, feel your core engage. Can you mirror the right leg with your left? Arms forward. Inhale to lower, Ardha Navasana. Holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull it back up. Plant your feet, lift your hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, we'll lengthen. Exhale, fold back down. Let's take 2 more like that. Inhale, just connecting back with our breath, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Plant your hands. Final vinyasa, step float, or fly it back. When you come back to down dog, let's take a nice deep breath in. Come up onto your toes, glide forward to plank, and lower your knees down. Crossing at your ankles, have a seat onto your mat. And we'll start here, working into our seated compass pose, or sometimes you hear it called sundial. So I want you to take your right leg to start. Your left leg can be bent, or your leg can be straight, whichever is more comfortable. But I want to start by cradling my left hand and my right foot, my right hand to my right knee, and just sort of working the outer hip a little bit more. And as I'm working the outer hip, I want to start pulling my right foot a little closer to my left shoulder. Since we did a lot of hamstrings already and open hips, hopefully you're feeling warm for this, but do your best. I want to find that action of snuggling my shoulder behind my knee or my hamstring to the best of my ability. Reach your arm out to the side. Take your time here, doing your best to get it as high up as you can. I'm going to bring my left hand to the outer edge of my right foot, and my right hand's going to be here for support. With an inhale, if you have the hamstring extension, we can start to really open wide, revolve your heart open, and lift your gaze. Slowly we'll come back to center and switch it out. Right hand to the outer edge of your left foot. We'll start by just finding a little rock here. You can take as much time with this as you need. When it feels good, transition right hand to the outer edge of your left foot. Start to find the snuggle under of your shoulder. Support yourself with your left hand. And with an inhale, we'll open. And one more full breath in the pose. And then nice and slow, we'll bring it back down. Dandasana, straighten your legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake if they need it. We'll sit up nice and active. Flex your toes, firm into your quads. Inhale. Reach your arms up. Looking for the length before depth. Navel to your spine. We're going to hollow out our belly. Reach, 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 reach. And then surrender in. As you are here in your forward fold, in today's class, I want you to resist holding your feet to pull yourself in deeper. And I want this to come from the low back and the core. Even if your knees are bent, that's fine. Rather than trying to get your legs straight, I want you to think of really lengthening the low back and using that internal engagement to pull your chest closer to your quads. Let's go, last 5 breaths. Slowly roll all the way back up. A double pigeon. So we'll start with the right leg on top. Just doing your best to stack one foot on top of one knee and one knee on top of one foot. Feeling in front for evenness. And once you find evenness in the shins, inhale to lengthen upward. Same idea, just like in our forward fold. Lengthen through the side body and low back. And then maybe we can fold in. If you're wanting a deeper stretch on your outer hips, you can start to find it a little tighter. And if you need a little less, maybe a little more open. Slowly ease your way up. Release the legs. We'll take the second side. Left leg on top. Looking for evenness across the shins. Inhale, lengthen forward. And exhale, fold in. And last 3. Nice and slow, we'll come back up. Release your legs. Take a little windshield wiper of your knees, side to side. And we can make our way all the way down onto your back. Drawing your knees in with you. Apanasana, give your shins a nice little squeeze. We'll take our final twist. Right knee hugs in, lengthen your left leg down. Inhale, fill your lungs. Exhale, guide your knee across your body to the left. Bottom hip and gaze to your right. Ease your way back to center. Drawing your left knee in, relax the right leg down. Inhale, set it up. Exhale, twist. And one more time, inhaling back to center. Let's draw both knees into your chest. Final controlled breath of the class. Let's breathe all the way in and up. A little bit more. A little bit more. Open your mouth, exhale. Let it go. I'm taking your time here. Just to set up Shavasana. Maybe placing a blanket or towel over your eyes. Shavasana. If you have the time, I encourage you to stay in Shavasana. 4 or 5 minutes would be perfect for this length of class. But when you're ready, just keeping your eyes closed, gently start to allow the awareness to trickle back into your body. The physical body, easy movement in the fingers and toes. Keeping your eyes closed, let's draw both knees into your chest. A little easy rock, coming all the way back up. And close it out here, drawing your hands to heart center, bowing your chin to your chest, just ending in a place of gratitude for your body, for spending this time paying a little closer attention to all the subtleties. Thank you guys for letting me guide you. With love and gratitude. Namaste.